everyone, Amanda here. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm here today to share my completed recipe keeper journal. This is the April Journaling Joy collection. I'll link that in the description box below. An awful lot of people came over and joined the subscription so that they could get this collection. So hopefully I'll see quite a few of these around. If you do make one and share any photos of it, please do tag me so I can have a look, because I will always be your biggest cheerleader. So all of the tutorials for this are listed in my Journaling Joy 2025 playlist. Okay, every journal I create for the Journaling Joy I do tutorials on. I will link that in the description box below. Okay, so cover, beautiful, no gator mouth, but plenty of room for adding. Okay, we've done the Midori style binding purposely so that we can add and remove recipes that maybe you've cut out or family members have written down, things like that. So we've got a hard chipboard cover, so it's nice and sturdy, and we've got two interactive elements, and that is why this is called a hybrid journal. It's a cross between your standard journal with your pages and a folio. Okay, so we've got these two kind of mini folio elements here. So in case it's the first time you've seen it, we've got this little closure here, and you take that out, and this is a flip pocket. So in here we've got some recipe cards for you to write on, beautifully decorated with the collection. As I say, I go through all of this step by step. I give you all the measurements in the tutorials and tell you how to size it in either A4 or letter size. Okay, so that flips open, and on the back here we've just got a little fussy cut, and I've added a card, and we've got food is a love language. So that pops on there like that, so that then when you turn in that way it's sticking up, and that's just layering, layers and layers and layers. And then in here we have the faux metal file folder, which is designed for you to put more recipes in. Or loose things. Okay, just need to glue that down a bit better, and we've decorated it on the back as well, and I've done a tutorial on that, and that fits in that pocket perfectly. Lovely decoration there, and then it opens like so, and we've got a waterfall element with, I think, is it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 recipe cards. I left the back plain because I thought you could write in either white marker, or you could stick your recipes on yourself. You could also use this element for photographs if you don't want to add the recipe cards. And then here I did a cutout from the collection, backed it on cardstock, glued it on two sides to make a pocket, and I made these tags from some of the papers and used the fussy cuts as tabs. So that one's a spoon, etc., and they slip in there like so. So then that flips like that. No, it doesn't. Left, then right, and that ties up. So then we come to the folio, the journal element. I beg your pardon. We've got 3 signatures. Okay, I've kept them pretty simple because the papers are so decorative and so beautiful, but I also want to leave plenty of room for actual writing. I've done all of the tabs with all of the headings: home baking, we've got medicinal, we've got starters, soups, pickles, mains, desserts, and preserves. Okay, so when we turn over like so, and because of the way that I've constructed the cover, as you can see, it just completely lays flat. So here we've got the cake tier pocket that I designed, and I designed it in a certain way to make it quick and easy. So we've decorated it with some of the fussy cuts. There were heaps of fussy cuts in this collection. This is a double-sided one I've glued back to back, and these are some of the little journaling cards in the collection, so they go in like that. And we've got one of the decorative envelopes, goes in there like so, and I made a journaling tag. So this is just one of the full-size pages, shrink it down to a page, fold it in half, and I've put a tab on the top, and that makes a perfect journaling card. And then here's the little apron, I did it mirror image, glued them back to back, and that's just a little bit of fun in a lovely pocket. Okay, so here you can see the beautiful pages. It's just gorgeous. I've added one of the envelopes here, and I used every last little bit of what I'd printed out. I think a few things went in the bin, but they were literal scraps. So using up patterned paper, leftover sentiments and leftover fussy cuts, I just made these little cards you can write on the back. Okay, you could write on there, and that will just clip in there like so. Look at this lovely page. You can smell it. You can smell the basil. You can smell the pasta sauce and the meatballs. And we've got these lovely olives here. This collection is just beautiful. So it's not a cutesy, you know, pink shabby chic, all ice creams and cakes. It's a real food lovers recipe keeper journal. Okay. So there we've got some just grid paper from my stash. This is just shop bought, and I print a coffee dyed digital over the top. Nice for planning your meals, writing down recipes, whatever you like. And then here again, this is another way I use up my scraps, leftover sentiments and leftover embellishments. Just a simple flag or banner or whatever you call them in your neck of the woods, with a little embellishment and a word. Just adds a bit of prettiness to that page, and it uses up everything. So nothing goes to waste. So here I've got a tag again. I used up leftover background pages and fussy cuts and the words, and created my own tags, just layering up. And this here is one of the double-sided images, okay, and I've turned it into a hidden paper clip. All right, so that will clip on there. And I've done that the real easy way. So literally all I've done is I've got a paper clip. Let me just do a quick demonstration of how easy this is. If I've got some, I've just tipped my paper clips everywhere. Let me just grab a little piece of scrap paper and show you really this simple way. So I get a piece of paper, I fold it in half, I put my paper clip on with the largest part to the back, okay? And then you see how big your element is. And I just make sure that it fits within there, and I will just trim that paper down. And then I literally glue one embellishment on top of it, and then glue another embellishment on the other side, and obviously you cut it to size. And this little bit of paper there stays in the middle and turns it into a hidden paper clip. It is that is the most basic way to do them. There's all sorts of different fancy funky ways out there, but that is the very bare basic way of how to do a hidden paper clip, and it never fails. It works every time. I just need to get that on there. Get on. That's it. I just need to get in between the detail of that dress there and get it all the way down, and then that will hold my lovely tag. I could have added ribbon there. I did a ribbon hole, but I don't actually have the right ribbons to match my colours. And I did say that because I want it to be a recipe keeping journal and maybe, you know, get actually used in a kitchen, I've not added any fabric so that it can't get, you know, grimy or whatever. But whoever ends up with it might want to add some. Lots and lots of writing space. Lots. Because this is meant to be functional, but then we've got our cute decorative pages as well. How fun is that? What a fun spread. So the highly decorative pages are used for the centre of this signature so that you can open them up and see the full glory of that collection. And it is beautiful. I'm really proud of this collection. I really enjoyed making it. Made it just before I got poorly. And it's one of my favourite collections ever. So this is the mega cluster belly bands, okay? So, you know, you've got the full belly band at the back, then you've got a pocket here, and then underneath the mega cluster, I like to call things silly names, is another tuck, okay? So you've got a possibility of 3 storage compartments there, laid up with fussy cuts and some of the words. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You can almost smell those. I love vine tomatoes. This beautiful. I always select those when I can. More beautiful papers. and we've mirrored the, you know, if you put things together carefully, we've got the green gingham there, and I've done it again there, even though they're two completely separate pages. I just love this. I think it's lovely. And then I've done it again there where I've mirrored the same papers by carefully selecting what I put where. I do have several videos on techniques and hints and tips and basically my formula for creating journals, so have a look at those. I posted them a few weeks ago. If I think on, I'll leave a link, but they're super useful if you're new to journaling. So that's the end of the first signature. And because these papers are so beautiful, you don't need to add anything. So making these kind of journals, you know, the effort goes into the construction, and you don't have to do an awful lot to the actual papers. Beautiful, lots of room for writing, you know, and it, you know, because we're not adding heaps and heaps and heaps of unnecessary embellishments. You don't need a writing board, you don't need anything. You can just write there and it'll be fine. More beautiful. And obviously you can write on these as well, or you can, you know, stick your magazine cuttings and use a, you know, stick them in with some tape or something. Another one of the beautiful envelopes, and another little tag there, using leftovers. Okay. All right, more writing space. So this page here, if you're one of the members, is in the one of the members extra collections, and it's the journal pages collections. Okay, where you get all of the monthly pages and extra pages, and I think it's in there. I can't remember which one it's in, but it's in one of the members extras. That I've done so many now. I need to write them all in a little book in alphabetical order so I don't forget. So another little hidden paper clip there with just a little piece of writing paper. And again, I've used up my leftovers and my scraps and just added a bit of detail to that page. We've got another one of the belly bands with the mega cluster. Again, you can tuck things behind the mega cluster. It's not a mega pint, it's a mega cluster. Or in the pocket or behind. Okay, let me just get that in. And another tag. Again, using leftover background pages that I'd not used, and embellishments that I spent ages fussy cutting, and I was using them. I'm not sitting cutting things out and then not using them. I'm going to use them. Beautiful, lovely bread basket there with that lovely fresh baked bread. You can just imagine the smell of that. Absolutely stunning. And another one of those like collage pages that I did. Stunning. It is a beautiful collection, this. Okay, and that's the end of the second signature. And then the third, we've got another cake tier pocket. Again, filled with ephemera and journaling cards. Excuse me. Coughing on fresh air. And then decorated with the lovely embellishments. So we've got much of the same, where we've kept as many pages as possible. Have I glued those ones together? I am bad for gluing pages together. Let me just release that. There we go. Beautiful. Look at this one with this lovely lady with the green gingham dress on. It's just beautiful. I love it. Again, using up leftovers, but it makes that page look super pretty. Envelope. Tag again. We've got the cooking temperatures, and there's another one with times, I think, or yeah, weights, something like that. Another hidden paper clip with another tag. Fabulous. And another one of the belly bands with the mega clusters. Beautiful lady there with the blue gingham dress, and I put all blue things with her. And more writing space. I love this. Just a little hint of cherry blossom there. I love cherry blossoms. I use them quite a bit in my collections. And another one glued together. More gingham. And then the back here is very much the same as the front, but I will show you. So here I've added some more recipe cards, and I've just tucked in an extra little fussy cut there. Okay, and we've got the food is a love language again, and the little dress to hold the tag. And this time we've got the blue lady, and we've got another one of the file folders. That's just a pocket with the kitchen conversions. That's what the other one is, kitchen conversion. That just slips in there. And again, here we have our beautiful, beautiful 9 recipe keeper, instruction sheet, whatever you want to call it, waterfall. So you've got the possibility of 18 recipes just there. Then that's duplicated at the front, and then the rest of the journal. You can fit heaps and heaps in this, absolutely heaps. Okay, so I'll just fasten this back up, and this will go on my shelf, on my collection. Is now making my shelf probably bow. I keep saying I'm going to sell some of them, but I can't bear to part with them, because every time I make one, it becomes my favourite. So I'm struggling to part with them, but at some point I will have to sell some, or else, you know, it gets a bit where I've got quite a lot of journals. I don't know. I'll do it when I'm mentally ready. I'm not mentally ready for it yet. So much work goes into them. I just love to keep them, stack them on my shelf and just look at them. It just makes me feel really happy. And this is my form of like therapy. It keeps me sane. I love it. You don't have to have a reason for journaling. Your reason is that you've put in your art, and it is a form of artwork, into a journal. And who says you have to do anything with it other than own it? Just own it. So I hope you like that. I'll leave all the links in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.